This is CBS News Chicago.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Dana Kozlov.
And I'm Adrena Sinclair. Good morning to you, and thanks for being with us. Now at 9, Chicago Transit in dire need of some big money, or major cuts will be coming to the CTA, Metra, and Pace. A meeting starting right now to address the brewing crisis. We'll give you the very latest in just a moment.
And the boys of summer make a return to the field as opening day kicks off across the league. How the Cubs and White Sox are gearing up. Plus, we are live at the rate for all the fan fun.
And will today's rain impact the home opener on the south side? We're timing it all out in your first alert forecast. But first, we want to get to your nonstop news because we're talking about these major cuts to public transit that could become a reality if a financial cliff is not addressed by May.
And now the Regional Transit Authority is meeting for the first time since issuing their warning about a week ago.
Darius Johnson live in the loop with more on officials trying to prevent a potential transit collapse here in Chicago.
Good morning. Yeah, that meeting is getting underway, and we expect to hear more details on exactly what's going to happen next. Now, this is a big ask from the Regional Transit Authority, $1.5 billion by next year, or commuters can expect massive service cuts. Now, most of that money will come from taxpayers, but lawmakers say the deal is far from done. RTA board is meeting this morning to review service cut scenarios and discuss possible expansion plans. However, those expansions won't happen without that billion-dollar funding. This week, union members have been handing out flyers at CTA stops warning riders about the impact. Cuts to Metra could result in a 40% reduction in service, cuts to early and late trains, and delays on weekdays and weekends. CTA could cut half of its rail lines, reduce frequencies of 10 to 25%, and cut dozens of major bus routes. And with Pace, all service after 8 p.m. and all weekend rides could be eliminated. Right now, state lawmakers say there is not enough support to approve that funding yet, and some have started to throw out some cost-saving measures like merging all 3 transit agencies into one. But transit officials say that does not solve the problem.
We want to save public transit, and it's so vital to the city of Chicago, the surrounding suburb areas, pretty much anywhere within the city. You can get there with public transportation.
Now, RTA says the only solution right now is more funding. However, in this room later this morning, or right now rather, they will also discuss some cost-cutting measures like taking an additional look at overtime. Again, lawmakers have until May to act on that billion-dollar deficit. If not, people could start to see those service cuts by 2026. We're live in the loop. I'm Darius Johnson, CBS News Chicago.
All right, Darius, thank you so much. Well, we know one person is dead and at least 5 others injured after a crash near 55th and Central. Police say around 3:30 this morning, a Ford Fusion was making a U-turn when it was hit by a Hyundai Palisade. Police say the driver of the Fusion was pronounced at the hospital. And are you ready for some baseball? Well, the White Sox want to see you in the stands today because it's officially opening day.
And we know after a very unfortunate record last season, they're ready for a fresh start. It's time. Here's Ryan Baker with how the Cubs and the Sox are preparing for these new seasons.
Hey there, morning friends, and happy opening day. While the Cubs are hanging back in the desert for their stateside opener later tonight against the Diamondbacks, the White Sox have returned to 35th and Shields to host the Angels in Game 1. First pitch at 3:10 this afternoon. Yesterday, the Sox got reacclimated to the renamed Rate Field ahead of the festivities, and that includes Luis Robert Jr., who didn't think he'd be starting his 6th season on the South Side. With the rebuild in full swing after last year's record worst finish, wins will still be hard to come by, but nothing is going to steal the joy from rookie manager Will Venable or opening day starter Sean Burke.
Honestly, I was speechless. It's just such a huge honor. Looking back at the people that have, taken the ball opening day for the White Sox, just to have my name added to that list is an honor, and I'm, going to give it all I have.
It's going to be exciting. Obviously I've never been in a uniform on opening day as a manager, but anytime you're part of an organization and here on a big league staff or roster for opening day, it's special. So what it means for me personally as a manager, we'll find out.
We've got high internal expectations that Will and the staff and myself going to carry throughout the season, and it's not just focused on wins and losses. But we also understand where we are as an organization, and so many of these guys are getting experience for the first time in the major leagues to really help us, not only now, but certainly in the future as well.
I'm Ryan Baker. That'll do it for your morning sports. Have a terrific Thursday, everybody.
Ryan, thank you so much. And on this terrific Thursday, we have more opening day coverage for you.
Jackie Kostek is live at Rate Field, checking out the opening day excitement and some of the food that you will find at that ballpark.
But there's one little caveat here. It may not be the best day for baseball, but as Laura said earlier, it's not snowing. It's gray though. Rain heading our way. All right, Laura, what are we thinking for game time?
Once we get to game time, a couple of showers clearing out. So it's not going to be an all-day rain during game time, but do plan at least for some wet conditions to start off. We've been mostly dry right now here in the Loop. We do have some rain showers that's going to be diving in this direction, but overall we're nice and quiet while we wait for that rain to start to fill in. Temperatures middle upper 40s. It's now 52 Joliet. Rain chances will be tapering off during the afternoon before ramping up again overnight tonight. Highs middle upper 50s. Tomorrow we head into the 70s. We'll talk more about that thunderstorm chance tonight and the warm weather that follows coming up.
All right, Laura, thanks. We are keeping an eye on your world this morning. A PhD student at Tufts University is the latest person to be detained over accusations they support Hamas.
And her arrest was caught on camera. Here's the video here that shows the moments agents in plain clothes wearing masks circle Rume Zarka. She is the 30-year-old who was taken away in an unmarked SUV. The Department of Homeland Security says she was taken to an ICE detention facility because she, quote, engaged in activities in support of Hamas. Massachusetts governor says that Oster's arrest could have a chilling effect on international students, potentially discouraging them from coming to the state to research and to study.
The Department of Health and Human Services just announced it will cut 10,000 full-time employees today. Now, this comes on top of the 10,000 other employees who left voluntarily, adding to the major overhaul of health agencies.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth is now traveling in the Philippines as he continues to face scrutiny over the use of the non-government app Signal that discussed military plans. The Atlantic magazine journalist who was inadvertently added to the group released more excerpts from the chat among senior national security officials. Yesterday, President Trump said, quote, "There was no harm done because the attack was unbelievably successful that night."
Now, this all comes as President Trump announced a new 25% tariff on all imported automobiles starting April 2nd. The White House claims the new tariffs will lead to $100 billion in revenue and push companies to make products in the U.S. Most economists, though, say Americans are in for sticker shock if the president follows through. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney is calling the tariffs a direct attack on his country. And now to a story you'll see only on CBS News Chicago. Video showing a thief posing as an Amazon delivery driver.
Yeah, he drops off an empty package and he stills was already on the stoop. And the same day, blocks away, also in the South Loop, he walks up again for the switcheroo. So he's taking their package, leaving an empty one. But this time he struggles with the big item. The thief hides his face with empty boxes and looks legit to anyone passes because he's wearing an Amazon vest.
He definitely had this worked out.
I feel like he's just trying to blend in, pretend he's delivering package.
For every intent and purpose, looked like a regular Amazon driver doing his thing.
It's believed the crook is following delivery drivers and then stealing the packages within minutes. Alderman Pat Dowell encourages victims to file a police report and share any video to show the need for additional police resources in the South Loop.
The city of Chicago is coming up with a plan to keep pets safe after dozens of dogs were zapped outside a River North high-rise. And we first told you about the issue at Wolf Point East Apartments last month. People who live there told us their dogs kept getting zapped while going over a metal plate, entering or leaving the building. That one right there. Now, one pet owner says she's working working with the city alderman to pass a new ordinance, and it would require property owners alert tenants of a hazard within 24 hours, put up visible warning signs, and have veterinarian advice if the incident involves pets. Wolf Point Management says they fixed the issue earlier this month.
An electric vehicle maker in Illinois is thinking smaller. The new transportation Rivian is looking to develop.
Want to get away? Well, one American is urging you to take a tropical vacation next winter.
It's a push to get these sweet faces a forever home. The marathon adoption event happening this weekend, bringing several shelters together to find families for dogs and cats.
On the Money Watch this morning, a copyright lawsuit against OpenAI and Microsoft is moving forward.
The New York Times and some other newspapers are suing the companies over the use of their stories to train artificial intelligence. So a federal judge dismissed some of the claims, but did allow the bulk of the cases to continue. OpenAI says they build their AI models using publicly available data, but a lawyer for the Times says their content is actually stolen and threatens their livelihood.
Employees at Ben & Jerry's corporate headquarters in Burlington, Vermont walked out yesterday to protest recent actions by parent company Unilever. Last week, the company fired Ben & Jerry's CEO Dave Stever. More than 40 employees held a silent protest supporting independence from the global conglomerate.
An electric vehicle maker, Rivian, which builds its vehicles in downstate Normal, is spinning off a company to develop smaller electric vehicles. The so-called micro-mobility company, also known as Also, will focus on things like e-bikes. Rivian says they're also getting ready to launch the R2.
And it may just be the beginning of spring, but American Airlines is already getting ready for next winter's travel season. The airline just announced it will launch a direct flight between Chicago and Honolulu this winter. American says the flight will include new food options inspired by Hawaiian culture. The flights begin October 26th.
I'm like, okay, new flight. Ooh, food. That's
I like all of it.
In-flight meals are the most appetizing, but you know.
Well, Honolulu sounds great right now.
Oh,
but it sounds great all the time, doesn't it?
Yeah. But especially like this week, again, the weather is just not weathering.
And we're all to the point, right? If I may say, it's the end of March, and you're just like,
come on.
Okay.
If we may agree with you, yes, Dana, absolutely.
Well, I'm here to tell you it's going to be 77 tomorrow.
All right.
Here we go. Yeah. It is opening day. We've got some showers to dance around through the early day, but once we get into game time, we should be clearing up out there. We're not done with rain. In fact, we've got multiple opportunities here from now until early next week. The better rain chances look like they'll come into play by tomorrow morning and then again on a Sunday. Here's a look at the radar lighting up out there. Some light rain showers have been mostly to the far west and south, that across LaSalle County, but we're starting to see some more light rain showers off toward the north and west. Temperature-wise, not too bad. Middle upper 40s. We're going into the 50s by this afternoon. 3 o'clock, still have a few light rain showers out there, clearing out though for the rest of the evening, and then we will stay dry until about midnight. That's when we do turn our attention for some scattered showers and thunderstorms. Maybe an early wake-up call for some folks tomorrow morning. Timestamp here, 3 a.m. to the south. We've got some thunderstorms out there, and then a few passing storms will be possible until the mid-morning hours. Once we get past that, it is going to be windy, sunny, and almost hot. Highs middle upper 70s, and some areas may actually hit 80 for a Friday. 55 degrees here today, a little on the breezy side with the shower thunderstorm chances going up overnight tonight. 47 degrees by tomorrow morning. Tomorrow the high 77 degrees with showers, thunder early in the day, clearing skies, and then that windy warm up for the afternoon. 7-day forecast. On Saturday, it's still fairly warm, 67 degrees, falling temperatures. We do have that late day shower chance. So though you're seeing a daily chance for rain and thunderstorms and even snow by next week, there's still going to be a lot of dry time. I think Saturday's a dry day with those late day showers, rain and thunder on Sunday, 60 degrees, and then colder by Monday with a high of 41. Let's go over to the First Alert Traffic Center. Chris, how's things looking out there this the hour?
Well, as we go into and through our Friday Eve on this spring break week, that has kind of culled the herd a little bit. It has kind of diluted the overall traffic pattern out there and allowed us to, well, recover in a lot of spots. and not so much in others. So let's go to the maps and I will show you what I'm talking about. It has to do with road work. We've got moving midday road work on the outbound Bishop Ford near 130th in a lane. We've got the leftovers from overnight work. I think they may have put in a new lane configuration right around 355 because it is still slow from Weber Road up to that point, even though no lanes are blocked anymore. We've got, of course, the big Kennedy project that's going on that's lighting everything up, basically between the Ohio feeder and the junction. And we've got the ongoing roadwork lane split on the southbound Tri-State near Roosevelt, right at the point where basically the ramp coming off the inbound 290 dumps you into right there. Here's a closer look at the Kennedy. Did I have to do that? Yeah, actually, just so you know. So if that doesn't tell you to take an alternate, nothing will. And we've got new road work up on Route 53 either way between Wren and Kirchhoff. Went up about 8 o'clock p.m. last night. Left lane is blocked either way, but it has not really caused too much by way of problems today. Chris Hotterville, CBS News Chicago.
Chris, thank you. Well, this weekend there is a marathon adoption event to help dozens of pets find permanent homes.
Several animal shelters are teaming up for Rescue Together, a large-scale citywide initiative. And joining us now to talk about it is Susanna Wickham, CEO of Paws Chicago, one of the participating shelters. We really appreciate you and your beautiful friend for joining us. Thank you so much for joining us. Who is that?
This is Gus, and I adopted him from Paws 12 years ago, and he changed my life. So he's my favorite to show.
Oh, you changed his life too. Gus looks happy and loved. Tell us more about the goal and mission of this weekend's adoption event, Rescue Together. I mean, it seems like a lot of effort, communal effort being put together on this.
Yes, and it's really an outgrowth of a program we started a year and a half ago at Chicago Animal Care and Control. We've been in partnership with Chicago Animal Care and Control since we founded, since our organization began 28 years ago. But as we have grown, the work that we do at the city shelter has grown as well. So for the last year and a half, we've been offering our medical services out of our medical center to pets at CACC to allow other rescues that may not have veterinary resources to transfer more animals out. And what that means is that because we helped with not just the animals that we took out of the shelter, like Gus, but also so many more, that an additional 1,800 lives were saved last year, cats and dogs. So what we've done is we've reached out to all the shelters that we've worked with, and we asked them, why don't we do a big adoption event together? So there are 7 of us participating. We will be at the New City Shopping and Entertainment District in Lincoln Park on Clybourne and Halsted. And if you are interested in adopting a pet this weekend, come on out. You can go to our website to see all the hours and details, pawschicago.org. But the goal is to find homes for at least 100 animals like Gus.
100, so that's a lofty goal, but then again, I think it could easily be met. But what are your plans to try to make sure those 100 animals find forever homes? Do you have any specific plans, or are you just trying to talk about it to as many people as possible?
Well, definitely. When you put the word out, and people can go to our social media, our website, and they can see the animals that we have up for adoption, and also they can look at all of the participating rescues as well. So promotion definitely helps to get the word out. And then also being in a high traffic location like the New City Shopping District means that people who are going to the Mariano's grocery store that day might realize there's a big adoption event going on. And that sort of happenstance is a way that many animals find homes. So it's really something we've done from the beginning of our organization's history, is we've put animals front and center where people will see them and realize how wonderful they are and find themselves adopting.
Well, I have to tell you too, we adopted our dog Jordy from Paws about 11 years ago, so I can also speak firsthand about how amazing it is to be able to bring one of those wonderful animals from a shelter home.
Oh yes, and speaking of that, I did want to ask for anyone who's watching, who's interested, what's the process like? You might go out to the event this weekend, but is it a take home a pet that day, or what's the process?
Yeah, you should expect to spend a couple of hours start to finish, because usually what we do is there's a meet and greet with the animal. If you have any resident pets, we can help with the introduction. So let's say you already have a dog at home and you're thinking about adopting another dog. Our trainers will work with you to introduce the dogs and to observe their body language and tell you, is this going to be a good fit long term? And then also we have foster records for many of our animals if they spent time in foster, and we'll tell you everything we've observed, like, oh, this animal is afraid of elevators, or this one needs a family because they're so social. So we'll be able to tell you everything you need to know. That does take a couple of hours. And then every rescue, since there are 7 of us working together, they all have their own adoption process. So you just work with wherever you find the animal that you love.
I love that so much. Is it Susanna or Susanna?
Both. My Greek mother calls me Susanna, but everyone else calls me Susanna.
Because I've heard it both ways. I just want to make sure that we're addressing you correctly. CEO of Pause Chicago, Susanna, thank you for joining us. Gus, thanks for joining us too. Oh my gosh, kisses to end. Thank you.
He knows I take them whenever he gives them. I love them.
And again, adoption events will be held on Saturday and Sunday at Pause Chicago and Chicago Animal Care and Control. On Sunday, there's an extra event at New City in Lincoln Park, which we just talked about, where all participating shelters will be on site. You can head to pausechicago.org/rescue together for all the hours and all the information.
And coming up in Health Watch, we often say to our kids, you're young, you don't have to worry about that yet. Well, a study finds there's a certain age crucial to our heart health.
Dana and Audrina, I was getting a little bit teary-eyed thinking about Pause Chicago because that's where I got my lovely, sweet angel Archie many, many years ago. But we are here on the south side at Sox Park this morning. Can't wait for opening day. The first pitch is at 3:10 as the White Sox prepare to take on the Los Angeles Angels. But coming up in about 20 minutes, we're going to show you all of the new food offerings here at the Rate, which is so exciting because no matter what happens on the field, you always have a win in the food department on the south side. We'll see you right after the break.
On the Health Watch, living alone could damage a person's mental health.
There's a new study that looks at how social isolation impacts our well-being, and the researchers say that living alone is significantly linked to higher rates of depression, anxiety, and in some cases suicide. A study published in Open Network found the groups at the higher risk are men and people between the age of 40 and 64. The findings underscore how social isolation can have serious harm on our mental health.
Well, many teens could be setting themselves up for heart problems later in life. A study by the American Heart Association found the time between age 18 and the mid-20s are crucial to heart health. Many teens are developing obesity, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and type 2 diabetes. So it's important to address those risk factors at a young age.
Well, next at 9:30, a big push for funding to keep the CTA, Metra, and PACE on the move.
We're at the meeting where the Regional Transportation Authority is working to deal with the major money problems that could cause those massive cuts. And if you didn't get your city sticker yet, well, don't stress about the late fees. Why the city clerk is giving you amnesty next month.
And the city is taking a big step forward today in rebuilding the city's vacant Loop Financial District. Coming up next, we'll tell you how they're planning to give 4 historic buildings a big makeover.
This is CBS News Chicago.
Good morning. I'm Audrina Sinclair.
And I'm Dana Kozlov. It is 9:30. Thanks so much for staying with us. Well, it's a new season, so anything is possible. No one knows that better than the White Sox, hoping to leave last year's dismal record in the dust as they kick off opening day. We are live inside Rate Field before that first pitch in just a matter of hours.
But we aren't looking at the weather and if the rain will cooperate and maybe taper off by the time we get to game time. Maybe umbrella or poncho needed. For all those answers, we're going to Laura, the expert on this.
Yeah, not a bad idea to have a poncho, at least for the start of the game. But once we get to 3 o'clock, most of those showers are going to be tapering off and ending through that 3-4 o'clock hour. Radar right now, we've had most of the rain so far well off toward the west and south. Now starting to see some more showers creep in toward our northern tier counties, out toward Elgin and Aurora. Right now, O'Hare and Midway and in the Loop. It's been relatively quiet and a little on the cool side as we're holding in the upper 40s. Rain chances will taper off through the rest of the day today before ramping up again overnight tonight into tomorrow morning. Go to 55 for a high today, 77 degrees tomorrow, a warm finish but unsettled to start. We'll talk more about that storm chance tomorrow morning coming up.
All right, Laura, thanks. Well, right now the Regional Transit Authority Board is meeting to review service cuts scenarios in Chicago.
We're going to take a live look inside the meeting here underway in the Loop. You're seeing the meeting in that little right upper hand sandbox, but they're actually looking at some slides there in this meeting. The RTA board is asking Illinois lawmakers for $1.5 billion, and they're discussing what will come next if they don't get the funding that aims to close a $770 million budget gap, while also allowing for expanded service on the CTA, Metra, and PACE. Now, right now, state lawmakers say there just is not enough support to approve this big of funding. Some have even floated the cost-saving measures, like maybe merging CTA, Metra, and PACE into one agency. But the RTA says the only solution is more funding. Well, the city is taking a big step today in rebuilding the Loop's vacant financial district.
The idea is to make it more residential friendly. Officials will break ground on the historic Rector building. Our Marissa Perlman is live there right now with the project and how the city hopes to transform that part of the Loop. Good morning, Marissa.
Dana, good morning to you. Yeah, the Rector building here will be the first office to residential project for the city, but it's actually one of 4 buildings here in the Loop neighborhood that is set to really get a full-on big makeover. Now, in just a little while from now, about half an hour from now, Mayor Brandon Johnson and the developers selected for the project will break ground here at 79 West Monroe. They'll share more on what they're calling the LaSalle Street Revitalization Initiative. The project will add 117 new apartments to the Loop. The city says 35% of those units will be affordable housing, part of a national movement to repurpose vacant office space in a post-COVID era. The Rector building project was awarded $28 million in tax increment financing from City Council just last year. Now, as I mentioned, this is one of 4 buildings to be transformed at LaSalle and Monroe, all in the Loop. The idea here is to make the LaSalle Street corridor feel more like a neighborhood. The city plans to build 1,400 apartments total in the coming years, all of them with this mixed income housing. 300 of those will be affordable housing for residents who make 60% of the median income in this neighborhood. Now, this building itself was just granted landmark status last week, which the city says will help the project will help the building during this project. Now, again, that meeting set for 10 this morning. The mayor will be here along with other local leaders. We'll be there to ask some questions about the financing for this project in the years ahead. For now, we're live in the Loop. I'm Marissa Perlman, CBS News Chicago.
All right, baseball is back in Chicago. The White Sox host the Los Angeles Angels for opening day. First pitch at 3:10 this afternoon. The Sox are looking to have a much better year after last year's historically bad record.
First day of spring training is like going back to school when you're a kid. That first day of school, you get the jitters, you're excited. It's the start of a new chapter.
Fans in the stands, it's always packed, and there's that good energy. So it's probably my favorite day of the year because, again, everybody's playing from the same record, and there's that optimism because you never know what's going to happen in a baseball season.
Coming up in less than 15 minutes, Jackie Kostek is live inside Rate Field.
On the north side, the Cubs have already started the regular season during that trip to Japan. They're in Arizona today to play the Diamondbacks, and it'll be another week, though, before fans take over Wrigleyville. The Cubs' home opener is April 4th against the San Diego Padres. And this morning, we are listening to a group of senior citizens forced to climb more than a dozen flights of stairs just to reach their homes.
Yeah, one man told us that he was late for a surgery that was scheduled after firefighters had to carry him down 18 flights of stairs. It's all happening at the Chicago Housing Authority's Fannie Emanuel Senior Apartments in Garfield Park. Here's some video that was taken last Wednesday showing seniors sitting in the lobby because neither elevator was working, so they just could not go home to their units. They're now turning to their alderman for some help.
One of the parts that's needed for the elevator is 12 weeks out. And so do I have to every other day wonder if somebody's going to be trapped on the 17th floor of a building? That's not necessarily fair to them, and it's not fair to the community.
The Chicago Housing Authority says it has been meeting with the property managers, and they've determined that if there is a problem with the elevator, it will be considered an emergency situation, so they'll have to send a technician immediately.
The city of Chicago is giving anyone who doesn't have a city sticker a break for the entire month of April. The office of the city clerk is calling next month Amnesty April, and it means they're waiving city sticker penalties to make it easier for you to get one. That means no late fees, penalties, or back charges. The cost of the sticker ranges from $53 for motorcycles up to $530 for trucks. The Andersonville Farmers Market is coming back in May, but it's moving to a new location. According to Block Club, it will now be held on Winona between Clark and Ashland. That's about a half a mile south of its old location. The move comes amid construction on Catalpa that will create a pedestrian plaza there. The market kicks off May 14th from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. and it'll run Wednesdays until October 22nd. And coming up, there's nowhere to go but up, right? Well, the White Sox get a fresh start as they kick off a new season. We are live inside Rate Field for opening day.
It's an egg hunt like no other, where you'll find these special eggs even if you can't be part of the hunt.
9:37 for the current time. We've got some rain, thunderstorms in the forecast as we break for the weekend. Tracking it all in your First Alert forecast.
It is opening day, and we are jump-starting the baseball season on the south side.
Yeah, we've been all over the ballpark this morning and really worked up an appetite, or at least Jackie did. She's at Rate Field for the opening day festivities, getting a look at the new food. Hey, Jackie.
Yeah, Dana and Audrina, I actually was smart enough to bring a little snack today, but both producer Tom and photographer Jeff Langan this morning were just saying they were kind of hungry. So I think we have worked up an appetite moving all over Sox Park this morning. I'm here with Jenny Cribbs, who is the operation manager for the Chicago White Sox. Good morning to you.
Hi, good morning.
Happy opening day.
Yes, thank you. Happy opening day to you.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. I think there's such a special spirit about opening day that you just can't not be excited for the fresh slate, the brand new season, and the new food offerings, of course. So we've got some Korean-style hot dogs, which apparently are really trendy. I didn't realize they were trendy, but tell me about those.
Yeah, about 6 months ago, we started brainstorming on what we could do new in the ballpark, and I have a concession stand in 154.
Okay.
And we don't open it very often, and let's do something fun where it can be open every day.
Yes.
And I was seeing these Korean-style corn dogs everywhere.
Yeah.
I called one of my corporate culinary chefs and said, want to help me do this? And he said, yes, but we also have to do bubble waffles.
Ooh, bubble waffles.
What's a bubble waffle? Well, actually, they make a waffle maker called a bubble waffle maker that puts these fun little bubbles into the mix, and we shape it. These are homemade every day here. On the menu, we have sweet and savory of the corn dogs and the bubble waffles.
I was going to say, yeah.
So we'll start up here. This is called the Change Up. It is a bubble waffle filled with vanilla ice cream, black sugar boba, candied ginger, and some mocha syrup.
Oh, Jenny, you are speaking my language. My mouth is literally watering as you're telling me about that. That sounds so good. And then we got to talk about the dogs themselves.
We do. These are going to be the hit. We have 4 different options, and I'm showing you the Diablo right here, which is a mozzarella stick in our special batter, deep fried with flaming hot Cheetos.
Okay, very popular among the kids these days.
Yes,
I would say,
and then very spicy sauce on that.
Okay.
And then you can actually follow that up with our sweet version. This is called the Unicorn.
Yes.
It is marshmallow, condensed milk, and fruity pebbles.
Wow. So is it actually still a hot dog inside of that, or is it no?
The inside is a marshmallow.
Oh, inside is a marshmallow.
Yes.
What a surprise. That sounds so delicious. Let's talk about Fuku Chicken making its debut here at
we're
Sox
very
Park.
excited to partner with them. We're actually the only location in Chicago that will be selling the OG chicken sando.
Yes.
As well as their chicken tenders and waffle fries.
I love it. We can't not talk about the drinks too, because we have a beautiful display over here for the 125th season of the White Sox. We've got a menu that attaches itself to that milestone, right?
Yes, we wanted to give a nod to the different decades, and so we came up with 6 different cocktails. Right here we have the Pale Hose Old Fashioned, made with Jack Daniels and a little blackberry syrup, and then the Southside Sling with Trace Agave tequila.
I love it. Jenny, thank you so much for your time this morning. Go White Sox, and I gotta say, the music just turned on at Sox Park, so I think they're getting the opening day festivities going. The opening day ceremonies officially kick off at 2:30 this afternoon ahead of that 3:10 first pitch. Derek Rose is throwing out the first pitch today, so a lot of great opportunities to just celebrate the beginning of baseball season, because it's a really good good feeling, isn't it, ladies?
It totally is. I love baseball season because it also means warm weather's coming, right, Jackie? Thank you so much.
Yes, eventually, yes.
Eventually, yes.
Yeah.
Speaking of, let's turn to Laura Bannon now.
There's no one that's more over this weather than you, Dana.
I think you might be right. Yeah.
She's like, I mean, come
I just want to walk outside and be warm. Is that too much to ask?
It is at this point for some reason. I know. Yeah, the forecast is very up and down. Yeah. It's crazy. I am talking about snow on the final day of March, of course. What's that saying? Like in like a kitten.
April in like a lion, out like a lamb.
For March, and then April showers.
Oh yes, right. You're right. March is in like a lion, out like a lamb.
He came in like a lamb this
Never
year.
heard
It's
of
going
it.
out like a lion.
Really? No.
Must be like a.
Really?
Is it like a Midwest thing?
It might be. It could be. Because it's the Midwest. You're from Florida. So why would you even have that saying in Florida? You don't need it in Florida. Right?
It is. Anything to like keep our brains going this time of year.
Yeah, I'm still like, oh wait, this is spring.
Right? Yes. Is it? Yeah. No, it is.
Yeah.
For about a week now.
Yeah, I know. Oh, yes, it is. Yeah, that's right. Oh my gosh, time is flying when you have fun, right? Opening day forecast. We've got some shower chances to deal with. Once we get to 3:10, though, a couple of showers are still going to be possible. I do expect those stands to be wet, but most of those showers are going to be moving through and out of here, and nothing too heavy, mostly light rain activity. We've been dry here in the Loop, cool too, in the middle upper 40s. It's 47 O'Hare, Midway 48, 49 Aurora, and 51 Kankakee. Radar's lighting up out there, but we mostly have light rain showers, which will be in that off and on variety through the midday hours. By 3 o'clock, notice things are clearing out toward Midway and Wright Field there. We've seen most of those showers out toward northwest Indiana before we start to see some more rain overnight tonight. So we do turn our attention to the risk for some showers and thunderstorms after midnight tonight, and going through the mid-morning hours, likely going to have some off and on showers, possibly a couple of thunderstorms. Once those storms clear out, a windy warm-up. It's going to be cranking up there in terms of the wind. Some winds as high as 40 miles per hour, and temperatures too will skyrocket through the middle upper 70s, close to 80 degrees. Heading into Saturday, still mild. Shower chances will hold off until at least the late day. 55 degrees here this afternoon, passing showers and increasing risk for rain and thunderstorms after midnight. Tomorrow, morning rain, some rumbles of thunder, and then a hot feel for the end of the day. 77 degrees. We've been waiting on this day for some time. We're still at least mild through the start of Saturday, falling temperatures. We go down to 60 on Sunday, rain and thunder in the forecast for the end of the weekend. And then here's the forecast part where we talk about rain and snow, mostly in the morning hours, a colder feel down to 41. And that's a shock to the system, Chris, especially after a high of 77 tomorrow.
It is all over the map, kind of like my maps, which are all over the map, because we've got all sorts of moving midday road work that's out there. What a festival. Look at all the remote locations where we've got road work on the outbound Bishop Ford at 130th and the northbound side of I-55 at 355 and the outbound side of the Stevenson at Kedzie and the Kennedy, of course. That's a category all by itself. The 290 is all backed up into a lane split southbound on the Tri-State at Roosevelt. We've got new road work that is midday in flavor on the westbound side of I-80, right around 183rd. And if that wasn't enough, downtown for your viewing pleasure, we have the LaSalle Street Bridge, which is closed Wacker to Kinsey until 2:30 p.m. for maintenance. Have a great day. Drive safe. Let's be nice to each other. Come on, Sox, let's get a win today. Chris Habermill, CBS News Chicago.
They heard you. They heard you, Chris.
That's going to be
out there in the atmosphere. It's flying over. Well, for the next month, an Easter egg hunt is underway in London for some really special eggs. Very, very special eggs. Chapman Bell tells us it's all for a good cause as well.
With Easter just around the corner, a giant egg hunt is underway in London. The Big Egg Hunt is a citywide public art exhibition. 123 incredible egg sculptures hidden at iconic locations. Well-known names from the worlds of art, design, fashion, and food are behind the egg sculptures, ranging from colorful to classic, some quirky, others fun, all unique.
It's the physical execution of this which was the real challenge, creating something that can be outdoors in this environment and survive for the months to come.
We found this egg outside London's Royal Albert Hall by luxury brand Chopard, an emerald and diamond design, and it's getting lots of attention.
It's absolutely beautiful, but then I do like bling.
Londoners and visitors can use an app to collect the eggs. with the chance to win prizes along the way and learn a bit more about the location, designer, and the charity behind the hunt, which is raising money for conservation.
So I'm hoping that this just brings a lot of joy and connection with people who want to come and see these beautiful works of art. But obviously underneath that is this message of conservation.
Emma Cooper says it's an excellent way to welcome spring.
It's my birthday next week. It's kind of like an Easter birthday present at the same time.
The search is bringing smiles to those on the hunt on a sunny day in the city. Chapman Bell, CBS News, London.
Well, one of these eggs could be yours when they are auctioned off at the end of April. Imagine how much they cost, the price of normal eggs.
I think actually the normal eggs might be cheaper in this case.
Like,
it's just a guess. Well, all right, how's your March Madness bracket looking? We're talking basketball now, of course. The first round of the NCAA tournament already had some bracket busting upsets, but the action starts up again tonight for the men's teams. It is the beginning of the Sweet 16, and some games air right here on CBS Chicago. In fact, here's tonight's primetime lineup showing you who to watch and when. Starting at 6 p.m., you can see the BYU Cougars take on Alabama's Crimson Tide, and at, well, around 8:30, the Arizona Wildcats will play the Duke Blue Devils, #1 seed. After the games, you can catch CBS News Chicago's Late News. The women's games pick up again tomorrow. And if you have a free minute this morning, make your picks to help decide on Chicago's top dog.
Time is almost running out for our March Madness style tournament. It's going on now, and it's really just some fun we want to have with you to find out which restaurant has the absolute best hot dog. And it's all about the voting. You have until noon today to decide which places right here on your screen. It's our Sport Pepper 16 bracket should advance to the next round, which is the Onion 8. We're going to announce that bracket tomorrow. Just head to our CBSChicago.com website, search top dog to vote. Now, we've gotten several hundred votes so far, so thanks to all of you who've gotten involved on the fun. But some of the matchups already look pretty clear on a winner, but one is still up in the air. It's Wiener Circle up against Gene and Jude's.
Ooh, can you imagine what the Wiener Circle folks would have to say about that?
And what they would put on their board.
Oh, my goodness. Wow, we'll have to see who wins that one.
I know. All right, we got a few hours to vote on that. Well, coming up, a look at the stories we are following today, including the push for more funding for mass transit here in Chicago.
Plus, a multimillionaire may be walking around northern Illinois where a $344 million Mega Millions ticket was bought. Welcome back, everyone. Here's a look at the stories that we're keeping an eye on today.
The Regional Transit Authority is meeting right now, just days after warning major public transit cuts could be just around the corner. The group is asking Illinois lawmakers for a whopping $1.5 billion to allow for expanded service on the CTA, Metra, and PACE. Officials say a $771 million fiscal cliff needs to be addressed, or thousands of people could lose their jobs.
A 28-year-old man is dead. 5 others are injured after a crash in Garfield Ridge. It happened on 55th near Central around 3:30 this morning. Police say a Ford Fusion was making a U-turn on 55th Street when it hit an oncoming Hyundai Palisade. The driver of the Fusion was pronounced dead at the hospital.
Opening day is here for Major League Baseball, as we've been talking about this morning on the South Side. The White Sox will host the Los Angeles Angels to start their season. The Cubs are in Arizona to face the Diamondbacks, and their season has technically already started. They played those 2 games in Tokyo against the Dodgers.
Well, there will be a little shower activity through the midday hours, but eventually ending by 3-4 o'clock. No major slowdowns for the afternoon rush, though. It will be at least some wet roads out there. Tomorrow morning, some showers and thunderstorms. Then we're headed to 77 degrees. And then by Monday, it'll be snowing.
There we go. A little bit of everything.
Yeah. Oh, you just said that so cheerily, like we should all be excited about.
I don't know.
I'm just giving you a hard time.
Attention.
Oh, I am.
Now you are now.
Always do.
Okay.
All right, everyone, moving on to
the lottery.
If it was you or maybe someone you know, the Illinois Lottery says someone won a $344 million Mega Millions jackpot. They bought the ticket at the Casey's General Store in Cortland, Illinois, just west of Chicago in DeKalb County. The drawing was Tuesday night. After tax, this jackpot is a little measly $160 million. And the store that sold the ticket gets $500,000 as well.
That's pretty exciting.
I know. Who won?
We'll maybe find out. Maybe we won't. Sometimes you don't. Well, thanks everyone for joining us here on the News at 9. Your local news continues right here on the stream.
Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow morning.